So national anthem sayinikwa nguwe.
Yes, national anthem.
Hayi bo.
I would have loved to.
Yazi lelo mzabalo uzele lento rozalelo mzabalo zingikoni force la.
Kuna le party Africans in
Oh, Africans.
Sorry.
John.
Shaso okay. How's your voice for national anthem? National anthem.
National anthem to lead us.
Hi.
Who can lead us? Who can lead us? Zanamundi. We can't start with that national anthem.
We must just say, can we start? Somebody must start.
I'll hand over from someone to lead us. I know that there's someone who can lead us here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the beautiful rendition of the national anthem. It is, we've become accustomed now that the national anthem of South Africa is followed by the one of the African Union and in all our events. I'm not sure that we don't have it. We have it. Please, let's rise again.
Let us all unite and celebrate together the victories won for our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend our liberty and unity. Oh,
Thank you very much. Once more, thanks for that rendition. As I said earlier on, it would not be complete if we do not render the two national anthems, more especially us as it's cross-border. And thanks so much to the team that really honors the founders of Africa, Julius Nyerere, Seretse Khama, Nelson Mandela, Oliver Tambo, Nkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi, and all of those who came before us. As we are following the footsteps, those that we call Amavulandlela. Thanks so much. Welcome to the cross-border. My name is Sonwabile Mangclotywa, who is the chairperson of C-BRTA. That stands for Cross-Border Road Transport Agents. The one that is calling you every day almost for events, actually, in all the borders of South Africa. Conscientizing you about the importance of road safety, about the importance of inter-trade between South Africa and other countries, and trans-frontier trading, and as well as transportation of goods and services, and the whole logistic chain. That is cross-border. The only entity that does not get a cent from the state, that's why it is poor. But it is not poor because of the resilience of the people, because it collects. If it doesn't collect in the borders and people don't pay, the staff will not be paid, and we will all not be paid. That is why this organization, not only that, but it's also serving the nation. It's an honor to serve. I'm just introducing myself, and I can't not introduce the cross-border when I'm introducing myself as the chairperson. I'm accompanied by board members. We've got the time will come for the introduction. But having said that, ladies and gentlemen, we are now on part A3, or say part 3 of our address. But we are not going to do any justice here. This town has got a mayor, this city. And if the mayor can say all of us, we need to vacate here, there's a danger that's going to take place, we'll all vacate, we won't even ask, actually. And the mayor is going to welcome everybody so that we all feel welcome on this auspicious occasion. Without further ado, I'll call or request on the stage our executive mayor. You know, the mayor shouldn't call a mayor is executive because he's got all the executive powers. Mr. Aaron Mkhuleko. Of course, there's also someone accompanying him. Is going to speak on behalf of all the people of this citizen number 1 of a place that executive mayor. It's my first time to come here, but I feel as if I've been here for a long time. Thanks so much.
No, thank you very much, Program Director. Let me take this opportunity to greet the leadership present here, the DM. Warm greetings to you, the MEC for Roads and Transport, Madumeshia Uwanamma. KJS Vakase, Kantelole Kabote, all protocol observed. Like they said, my name is Mkhuleko Hlengwa, the mayor of Lephalale. When I arrived here, I found that in terms of the program, there will be somebody welcoming you. And then Tata Mawolawola, you know me very well. I said, no, that will not happen. This is my town, I'm here. And I'm going to do the welcoming address. I'm not going to be too long. I want to take the DM into confidence that you are in Lephalale. The heat wave that you're experiencing today, or the few days that has just passed, we've been experiencing the heat wave. But equally, it's not something that we are surprised to have. I'm raising this thing because we believe that on the energy crisis that you have, we're still relevant as the town to make sure that we resolve your energy crisis through the heat that we have here, or we are blessed with the heat that will always provide solution to the challenges that we are having as a country in terms of diversifying with regard to energy issues. But we also want to emphasize the fact that Deputy Minister, as much as you are here with the Honorable MEC, the situation that we are experiencing as a town with regard to the environment of the environment that our people are working at, in particular your officials here at the border, is not that conducive for them to be there or to work properly. But I want to assure you that as and when I was having a session with them sometimes this year, they've shown without any doubt that they are performing very well. They are amongst other borders that are creating more revenue than the ones that are more, or that have more equipments to work with compared to your Bed Bridge. We are having a single bridge here that doesn't make our work so easy. We therefore calling for the development of this border as a matter of agency to make sure that we are able to carry the capacity of or to deal with the congestion that we are experiencing in this border. I'm getting a privilege of being, when I go to Botswana, because I'm just from here, the first village from here, that's where I grew up. I'm getting a privilege when I get there because of the blue light that I can pass. If those that don't have blue light, they're standing there for more than 3-4 hours before they can pass. So we need to deal with that, Deputy Minister, just to make sure that we are giving them a better place to work at. I've been having some sessions with Ebontate Mtebele, who is managing this border. We have some engagement, MEC, and then we hope that the development of this border post will definitely make us good, and it will improve the lives of our people right here at the border. That will also come with opportunities to deal with unemployment and other social issues that are affecting our people. I'm here to welcome you in this town. You are in Lephalale, the town that is blessed with a lot of minerals, the town that is hosting or accommodating the two biggest power stations, which is your Medupi and your Matimba. You are welcome here. But also, Deputy Minister, the last thing that we want to indicate to you as you leave back to your office is that as much as we want the development of this border, We are also MEC calling for our SCZ status to make sure that we cut the red tapes that we are experiencing in this town, so that the economy can grow the economy of this town without a lot of red tapes that we are experiencing. So the SCZ is one of the critical status that we are looking at to make sure that we deal with some of the issues that might be some obstacles in relation to the economical activities that needs to happen in this town. With those words, members of the Department of Roads and Transport, members of board management or cross-border management, we are wishing you the best festive season, as you will be hard at work. Some of you, they don't know me in this seat, Deputy Minister. I've been in that uniform for quite some time, for more than 12 years. In the grey uniform, I'm from the parade ground also. I understand the situation that you are going to face now, as you are going to make sure that you make sure that all the motorists are very safe, as you dedicate your life to make sure that people are going to get services as and when we are going to have our festive season or go into our holidays. You will never get a holiday. You will never got one. Most of the time, during this time, that is when you go back to your work, or you work as hard as ever. So we wish you well. So as and when you are going to make sure that you protect us, you make sure that you create a safe environment for all of us as the motorists. You must also take care of yourself. Bale ba bangwe ka gore ke nako ela December, please, let's play far from uisha o bale letso le letelele ka gore ka tla ra re boya ka January wa khumana re se ka moka Deputy Minister and the MEC ke nako ela ya gore melato e ba e mentši mo tseleng le ba bang ba le ba o feta ba la itse kudu re se ra ba le letso le letelele a re berekeng re make sure re apply molao mo tshwanetseng ba ileng gore tshwantse ba fainiwe re se ka felletsa re dia tse di tswileng tseleng re a tseba gore le banna le basadi ba ba ikgafileng go make sure mmereko wa sepela. Let's make sure that we do that during this festive season. We wish you well. We wish you a blessed festive season. Deputy Minister, as I'm concluding, as and when everybody goes back, we want you to make sure that you take care of yourself. Those that spent a lot of time here, if you feel like you are tired, you can still drive tomorrow and make sure that you rest a bit. I can see a lot of faces that are coming very far from Eastern Cape. The former Youth League leader from Eastern Cape. Then as and when you go back, make sure that you are safe. And if you feel like you are tired, chairperson, just find a space to rest, and then you will continue with your trip tomorrow. So that as and when we teach our people about the safety on the roads, we are also practicing that. Thank you very much, Deputy Minister. Thank you very much, MEC. You are all welcome. You can relax and make sure that you enjoy and make sure that you participate where you need to participate without any fear or favor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me, give you. They are removing me because they are removing it now, ne? Okay. I was not complaining because I didn't say need of it, actually. Thanks so much. Executive Mayor, thank you. This program is very short, please, ladies and gentlemen. And thanks, Executive Mayor. By the way, I'm the one who was dismissed from the program by Deputy Mayor, by Executive Mayor. He announced here that someone was going to welcome, and I got what was called summary dismissal. You know, as a lawyer, I also studied or practiced in labor law. Summary dismissal is defined in Labor Relations Act as a dismissal without a disciplinary hearing because of the seriousness of the offense you've been charged. Later you beat someone, you're just summarily dismissed without a hearing. And then they report you to the police and open a case. So that was, this offense was serious. That's why I was dismissed summarily. And thanks so much, Executive Mayor. As we mentioned, now that we've been asked, it's hot, the citizen number one, or the first citizen, has so eloquently welcomed us. So singakhulula ibhaji. You know, when I came to Joburg, I couldn't speak, you know, Tswana, Sotho. And unfortunately, I was always in circulation of people from Eastern Cape. Now, for 2 years, I couldn't speak this language. And one day, I was asked to be a speaker in Soweto. And one of our colleagues actually had a bereavement. I knew him very well. And I found that nobody understands English here. So it means I must try, Swan a bit of it and then try to mix here and there and so forth. No, I said, Kindate Rapumulikana, Utlang Ruti Sasutu. Hey! Then everybody was laughing here, But then I said, but I know Gruta and then learning. So I don't think I'm wrong here. But I said, let me not ask whether I'm right or wrong from an old person. Let me just go to a young person and said, what is wrong that I said there? The young man said, no, by the way, what you said was taboo. I said, what was taboo? That's why you're laughing. I'm not going to explain it. What did I say? But Executive Mayor, that's how we learn language. If you go to Eastern Cape, place called Pofolo, there's someone there who came from there called Trollip, Mr. Trollip. I think is now a member of, member of Parliament. It was my first time to see a white man speaking Xhosa, more than Xhosa people themselves. And I asked him, why do you speak this language like the way? He even knows what Ingo in his force commands above. You know what it means? It's a very deep disease of a cow or a cattle. Manzabomvu. It means that it's suffering from that. When it drinks dirty water, it suffers from that. Manzabomvu, it's a very. Now, if a white person understands that language, you might then say that. Then I ask him, how do you speak English? So it's closer, even more than closer speaking people. You know what he said to me? He said, I made so many mistakes. And everybody was saying, shame. Oh, shame. Then I'll ask why, what it means. That's why he's so perfect. So these people, Soweto people, they should not have laughed at me. They should have said, shame, so that I understand the language. Thanks so much. Now we're going to it's a sad short because I'm going straight after this. Okay, let me take, just to tell you who is here actually. The Executive Mayor, because there's a thing called you know your leaders, né? Even before they speak here. I said Deputy Executive Mayor is not alone. Sorry man, Executive Mayor is not alone. Is with someone that I can call the head of the council, legislative arm of the council, the speaker of Lephalele Municipality Council, a councillor, Marakalala. Please stand up and then say wave. Can you clap hands for it? Thanks so much. We also have executive member of Lephalele Local Municipality Council, M. Mudima. Is Mama Mudima here? Thanks so much. Ke lebogile ma. The gentleman who's going to come and join us here on the podium, the Deputy Permanent Secretary of Botswana Department of Transport and Logistics. I'm going to introduce him properly. Pula! Aine! We always say that because we want this rain to rain. And fortunately, has come with those blessings. I've got 3 board members of C-BRTA. First, Board Director Ramasia. Tagama Backbone. Mkobeleni ke kahle. Board Director Sibande. If you know this place called Sibande, it's here in Mpumalanga. It's even a municipality. It's named after his father. I'm a historian, please. Ne? Forgive me. I can't have PhD in history and not at least educate you about history. This man, his father is the one that Sibande is named after. Board Director, man from Soweto, Director Kolanis. It means that that is a clan name. Africans have got clan names, all of us here. Nobody doesn't have a clan name. You know the clan name of the Deputy President? I knew it when I was in Pondoland one day, and I wrote it. His name, Homo Yantima. Homo Yantima, Komemyama. I don't know what's happening. This man is also Pai, but in Soweto, one man was asked to introduce himself when he visited my rural area. Everybody was saying, Mina Ngufaku, hey Umatiba, hey Ubanban. Then when he introduced himself from Soweto, he said, Mina Aron, Aguna Parazongwala. He doesn't have a clean name. He knows, but doesn't know. He doesn't know it. He has it. Chief Executive Officer of C-BRTA, Mr. L. Lwazimboy. There's an organization called Kucha Development Corporation. Puma is here, one of the executive of Kucha. You must know Kucha actually, because they have got a partnership with us. Kucha is an organization, their duty actually is that they actually guiding and transacting on the harbor, the economy of South Africa from the harbor side. Every parts of cars and so on that are shipped to South Africa, and many other development programs are actually processed through that organization. A number of the marine economy and so forth, he has that. Please, round of applause for him. Executive Mayor, it's the first time for him to come here, so he must invest some money here. Ne? Even if you go and buy in a shop, Mkhulekazi, for Christmas, you need your money here from Eastern Cape. And we also have the chief. Well, how can I forget to introduce my favorite HOD? He was included when he came. Machena, HOD Stephen Machena. This man is so senior actually in transport. HOD, don't look at his age. He's HOD for transport and community safety. Thanks so much. We also have the Chief Director of Limpopo Traffic, Jane Mulaudzi. We also have the MPA Representative Assistant Commissioner Mkabela. We also have SARS Representative Executive Manager Ms. M. Ndou. You know, let me now call upon, because when I do something, I do it perfectly. And I know that someone is saying, hey, there's time problem, but there's no program here, actually. The Deputy Minister is the only speaker. But I cannot not introduce this man properly because they didn't write. In Africa, we admire visitors.
My name?
Yeah.
What the last one?
Please, can you sit down, Sisi? Young Pazamis. Yeah, sit down here. Kaupateke. Yes, thanks so much. And Jonas? Kotladisa Tsemako. I'm now going to call on the stage Jonas Otladisa Tsemako from Botswana. As I've said, on his, I introduced him very well. Thank you. Over to you. Oh, sorry.
Dumela mboma le borra. Ya leboga. Deputy Minister and all officials and captains of industry, ya leboga. I'm not going to be long. I am not the key speaker here. We are waiting anxiously for the Deputy Minister's speech. Mine is just to really thank you all and appreciate the invitation from C-BRTA and DRTS. DRTS is our department, Go Botswana. The government's appreciation of this invitation. As you all know, we have a 1.5-month-old new government, which is full of energy, and all they speak about is employment and revenue. We are in and rain, like the Honorable just mentioned now. We need rain, we need to create employment for the youth and generate a significant amount of revenue. But Director of Ceremonies, Cross Alive could not have come at a better time for us. As you all know, we both, as neighboring countries, share road crashes, fatalities, accidents, and disobedience of the law, and we are all here to collectively, like the Deputy Minister mentioned earlier, that it's a collaborative effort for us to make sure that we reduce fatalities and accidents on our roads. These significantly drain our coffers because we both have a vehicle accident fund that only caters for those who have been really affected by the accidents in terms of passing on, but significantly for those who remain, because a lot of the accidents take away breadwinners, and that is why we really find this invitation and participation very, very important for both countries. The Director of Road Transport Services with other stakeholders normally embarks on law enforcement and educational campaigns similar to this in Botswana with the aim of disseminating road safety messages. And in our country, in the next few days, this message will be broadcast by the Honorable Minister Salakai in Botswana on behalf of Botswana and all the neighboring countries, because corridors, as you know, we in Botswana, we are land linked. We are bordering South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Zambia. Therefore, this message is very, very important because all the corridors pass through Botswana to transact economic activities in other jurisdictions. And law enforcement operations are conducted at various places to address non-compliance by road users, and targeting specifically where we are, because we are going to witness it today, trucks and public transport service vehicles. As you know, we unfortunately had that major accident in South Africa where we lost 45 Botswana who were traveling to South Africa. Therefore, these are very important messages that we have to share across all our communities and our stakeholders. And these operations are conducted to also ensure adherence to the decade of action for road safety, which is from 2021 to 2030, with the explicit target to reduce road fatalities or deaths and injuries by 50% by the year 2030. Director of Ceremonies, the day forms part of the important opportunity for improving road safety for hundreds of millions of young people who travel on our roads worldwide. And road traffic crashes kill nearly 1.2 million people worldwide every year, with devastating impact on families and communities. And according to statistics which we have been reliably given by both road agencies across the border, is that the major number of people who are affected by the fatalities are mostly young men, be they pedestrians, cyclists, motorcyclists, novice drivers and passengers. And that means the head of the family is then no more. Then this is passed on to the uncles, the aunts, the grandmothers, and the grandfathers. Therefore, Deputy Minister, it is our plea that all our communities clearly understand the message that you will give today. Director of Ceremonies, the challenges involved in traffic crashes and offenses, which include overloading, and we've seen that yesterday, what you call bomalai shakakwan. I don't know whether in Botswana they would really appreciate the word Malaysia, but we understand it to mean that these are actually service providers. In my world, I thought they were carrying their own goods that they were taking to the neighboring countries, but I understand that they are actually service providers. So the goods that they are carrying are not really owned by the guy who's driving the vehicle. They are actually providing a service. Therefore, they are frequently on the roads, and they can load as much as they can if we don't come in and make sure that they adhere to the rules and regulations of both countries. In closing, Deputy Minister and colleagues, the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, which is a new name in Botswana, has been actively involved in continuous strides to try and curb road crashes through prevention media such as what we are doing today. Therefore, I really appreciate that you've invited us to witness this, and we will definitely invite you in our efforts on the Botswana side to address this. One major plea, Deputy Minister, that I would really want to convey from the government of Botswana is that we are one, like the Director of Ceremonies indicated. As you know, my name is Johannes. I have roots way back in South Africa, which I won't mention today. But we have major infrastructure projects. This is one of the main ones, and we have asked our ministry to prioritize. We have significant and serious budget constraints this year, but it has been prioritized. We have major railway networks that need to be built to access ports and to remove constrictions on rail towards the ports. Therefore, we've got a number of lined up meetings, bilateral in nature, that we really would appreciate you to open doors for us so that these are now put into action. The new government has only 5 years to really prove themselves. And 5 years, in your experience, is not a long time. Therefore, if we can, as soon as possible, embark on these projects to alleviate and to reduce the wear and tear on our roads, you will see the number of trucks that are waiting to cross. And in this heat, the tar road that we've spent so much money fixing is now just going to slowly melt, given the traffic and the heavy weight of these vehicles. Therefore, in conclusion, I really want to thank my team who are here, led by this young man, Rebu Mudukanele Bukhutlo, and his team. There's quite a number of them. Even the revenue team is here, and they will definitely share the numbers that you really love to talk about, which is capital to actually fix our infrastructure. So kale ka lo batho ke a re ke lebogile a lenelo ke pula.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, our rep from Botswana. Now the only person on the only leader from the central government, the guest speaker, who's going to talk to us at the end of the program. But it's going to be introduced by the MEC of Transport. That you all know. You know Umama, and has been here, and she's going to introduce our Deputy Minister. And over to you. Mtsobela Mahlo.
Inkomu program director loko mi nyike nkarhi u ta vulavula. That's my language, my mother tongue. She's the one who taught me how to speak. So ririmi ra mina rero avuxeni avuxeni ndi Matsiari Thovela, this Limpopo, people from Botswana. These are our languages that were speaking in Limpopo. So now when you speak, I'm sure you speak only Setswana. So we've got Setsonga with many dialects, Sepedi with many dialects. It's only Sevenda, it's only one dialect, I'm sure. So we are rich in languages. Deputy Minister, thank you for having adopted me. I don't know what between you and the HOD, who's the brother, the senior brother. I don't know, but don't fight. But don't fight. I've got two breasts. One will be like sucking the other one will be sucking. I was told that I must come and introduce the guest speaker, the one who grew up in struggle. Those who grew up in struggle will see how energetic they are. One day I was in Botswana, but that time in Botswana there were 65 in parliament. Only 4 were women. Yeah, only 4 were women. 61 of them were male, elderly men for that matter. So a young boy was supposed to come and speak, a young boy and a young girl were supposed to come and speak on behalf of the youth. They were lashed like nobody's business. Because those young people were saying, now it's time for us to come and govern, to come and lead. The elderly people. I remember our delegate, who was the chairperson of this committee about women. She was lashed also to say, don't come from South Africa to Botswana and tell us about women. No ways, not in Botswana. So in Limpopo, in South Africa, men and women are equal in the eyes of the government. So the person that I'm introducing, he grew up in struggle. That's why it's all over, that energy. That energy comes from young people. You cannot compare him with me. I'm sure one step, to me it will be 10 steps. Yes. So I'm sure he's like our premier. Then if you put them on the same line, they can win together. So he has been with us. I'm sure several times when we are having events like this, executive mayor, the deputy minister is always in Limpopo. And he said, I must find someone so that he can start building his home here. Because you cannot be a citizen of any country as long as you don't get married in that country. So as women who are good in doing that, once I found someone, he can be the citizen of that country. So the person that I'm introducing is our deputy minister. We are always with him. The only thing, I don't know, deputy minister, are you going to build this port of entries? Because all of them are fucked up. Yes, all of them. We don't have a better port of entry. You were talking about your railways. Fortunate enough, Limpopo and Gauteng were talking about the bread train. You were talking about whatever. Limpopo now, yesterday, we were talking about adding another airline to Zimbabwe from Limpopo to Zimbabwe. So I'm sure we're 2 steps ahead of you. But the man that I'm going to introduce to you is our Deputy Minister Hlengwa. May you please come and speak to our people.
Thank you, Ma. And thank you for resolving the HOD's quagmire. Please be seated, colleagues. It's not a contested terrain. HOD ulama mina. Thank you very much, Madam MEC. And Mr. Mayor, it's also good to be here. Of course, I was last here for 2 visits when I was still the chairperson of SCOPA, when we visited the Mudipu Power Station. And I'm pretty glad that without singing one's own praises, I can say without any fear of contradiction, that the work that SCOPA put into the ESCOM oversight has been a positive contributing factor to us pushing back on the frontiers of load shedding. Obviously, our work is not done, and I'm glad you've raised the issue of the diversification of the energy mix in order for us to ensure sustainability of access. Where I differ with most people, of course, is whilst I'm pro-environment, I'm also anti-darkness. And so the whole notion of South Africa's economy being dependent on coal is a reality we must embrace. That is who we are, that is what we are, that is what is available to us. We need to build on that. I do not foresee a situation where all of a sudden we walk away from coal. It just doesn't make sense. We've made investments. Let's rather allow the infrastructure to run its course because that's just the logic, reality of investment. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for the very warm welcome. And I was saying to Mayor outside, when they said somebody else will welcome us, ngathi Mayor, kuse Africa la, amandla yagadwa. Ungavuka sekunekhu sekukhona Mayor. The chairperson of the board of C-BRTA and the board members who are present, the CEO, and all other executives, the representatives of our sister entities, Sanral, Artia, Road Accident Fund, PRASA, the CEO of the SEZ, Kuka SEZ, our colleagues from Botswana. I must say I had a good time on my last visit to Botswana. You may want to organize another one. The Speaker of Council and all councillors who are present this morning. Let me start off by extending a word of appreciation. I don't see the General now. I know who is Kwishi, so she's right. I will be very brief and say that it is an honor and a privilege to be here on behalf of the Department and Ministry of Transport under the very able and capable leadership of Minister Barbara Creasy, who is deeply involved in the work we are doing around road safety and has also running operations. In fact, we will be with her on a similar operation in Mpumalanga on Monday as we roll out the festive season safety operation. Of course, she has entrusted me with the responsibility of road safety, and therefore it gives me great pleasure to be here today for the Cross Alive Road Safety Initiative, which seeks to promote road safety and ensure the safe transportation of passengers and goods across the Groblers Bridge border post. At this point in time, let me take this opportunity on behalf of the Department and Ministry to extend our heartfelt appreciation to General Dr. Advocate Mbana, the Commissioner at C-BRTA, who will be leaving us at the end of this month, and I want to thank her for the work that she has so ably done in this entity to build it up in the responsibilities which we had entrusted with her, and I hope that we will be able to exploit the skills, knowledge, and expertise that she has implanted in C-BRTA, and wish her well in the new journey that lies ahead. General, thank you very much, ma'am. Colleagues, the initiative of safer roads remains especially essential in these times of traffic volumes, which include increased numbers of holiday makers across the length and breadth of our country and across the border posts within our region. As I was coming here this morning, we were in a meeting with the Minister reviewing the work that has been done since we've started the festive season, and I want to say, let us all be custodians of the message of road safety. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and jaywalk. Don't drive and text. That text to Usbo, to Humotso, to Usbongile, it can wait. Every time you utilize your phone whilst driving, you are losing 5 seconds of concentration. You will raise your eyes and find yourself having caused an accident which has got far-reaching consequences for those who will be affected by your inability to not use your phone. Influencers in particular, content creators. In fact, if I had it my way, we must install devices now in vehicles that will disable the usage of cell phones. It borders on recklessness, it is irresponsible, it is purely unnecessary. People see where I'm driving. Yeah, we can all see we've got Google. We can go in our own time and check the scenery of what you want to do. Our biggest problem is cell phone usage in cars. And the consequences of it, then you come back and say the road accident fund must provide something. There's no money. There's no money. Government is even contemplating, Madam MEC, doing away with the levy, the road, the RAF levy, which is R2.17 per litre. And I've got no other means of revenue generation for the road accident fund. So get kubeka wena content creator, wena influencer, imali ayikho. Sikakukhokhela who are in the system. Unloading more accidents is not right. 2, our biggest challenge in this time of crisis is the trucks. The manner in which truck drivers are conducting themselves on our roads is problematic. The accident in Pietermaritzburg is indicative of that, particularly at night, because the assumption is that there are no law enforcement officers, and hence the big push for 24/7 visible policing and patrolling on our roads. Some of these trucks are not roadworthy, and therefore they wait to drive at night because they want to evade the consequences that come with the work that we are doing. Thirdly, alcohol consumption, drinking and driving. Major serious national indictment, Mr. Mayor, that South Africa is number 5 in the world in terms of the World Health Organization report for alcohol consumption. Aspuzi my babu. Aspuzi go. Something is fundamentally wrong. Wholly wrong Others push the argument that it's a 68 billion rand GDP contributor. But at what human cost? When people drink and drive, when you do all the right things on the road, and then somebody out of his or her recklessness causes an accident when you have done everything right. Something has got to give. And in fact, I was thinking the other day that if they take away the fuel levy, I'm going to request that they introduce the alcohol levy. Yeah. A user pay principle must apply. You drink and drive and use our roads, you must be liable for the financial consequences and implications for your behavior on our roads. So we must eat away that GDP thing, because we need to help REF. And the first thing to do to help REF is to get correct driving on our roads in every material aspect. Then there's the phenomenon of jaywalking on our roads. I really hope that we can be able to enhance public education about the dangers and risks of driving on our roads, public education, so that we save lives. Majority of those who die on our roads are actually pedestrians. Then, Program Director, let me address a national problem. Time management, South Africa. Don't listen to this part. Part of the research is showing that people are actually speeding on the roads because they're making up for time lost, simply because they were unable to manage their time in the morning, wanting to do a 1 hour trip in 30 minutes to meet their next appointment. It's not right. My late mother, who was a nurse, would from time to time drive the whole notion of prevention is better than cure, had another saying: you rather be late for your next appointment than be early for heaven. And worse for you, if you did not walk the moral tightrope, then you're most definitely going to be early for hell, simply because we are impatient on the roads. In any case, it goes without saying that speed kills. And thus any responsible rush must be discouraged. And it goes without saying that from a broader and social and economic perspective, South Africa and SADC, as our colleagues from Botswana are here at large, we need safer corridors to ensure that goods and passengers traverse the transport network and reach their intended destinations safely. This will ensure that on our part we reach our collective goal as a region, which is improved trade and economic development consistent with the Africa Free Trade Agreement, amongst others. Transport plays an important role in economic development, and without efficiencies in cross-border corridors, it will be impossible to realize improved trade and economic development. Therefore, as we strive for these efficiencies in our corridors and transportation in general, we must place safety at the core of our plans. It is therefore for this reason that we are gathered here as part of the Cross Alive Road Safety Campaign to promote the reliable and safe transportation of passengers, goods and services across our borders. I'm pleased that C-BRTA is not implementing this campaign unilaterally, but in partnership with other law enforcement authorities in South Africa and from other countries in the region. It is only through collaboration that we will be able to push back on this pandemic of road fatalities. The question will become, why are we at Groblers Bridge port of entry? It is in the spotlight following the increase in traffic volumes owing to the recently built Zulunga Bridge between Botswana and Zambia, to which many have now flocked, and hence the increase in revenue generation. The construction of the bridge saw the diversion of cross-border traffic from other ports of entry to this port of entry. And it is for this reason that we are gathered here to, amongst others, bear witness to the increased traffic volumes, borrow best practice that will provide support to all authorities and stakeholders who have a presence at the port of entry. As the Department of Transport, we are aware of the challenges that are currently confronting the port of entry, and C-BRTA has played an important role in highlighting these challenges to us. And to this effect, the agency recently submitted a report to the department, which is currently on my desk and being processed to the minister in due course. Without going into much details, I can indicate that the challenges that have been outlined in the report, amongst others, speak to the need for a construction of a new bridge, truck stops, scanners, security lights, and the issue of illegal structures outside the border. Special planning and border operating hours will be dealt with by the multi-stakeholder team to be established. I would like to therefore commend C-BRTA and all relevant players in this regard for the work that they have done so far in highlighting the problems, and it is now for us to traverse the solutions together. At the right time, we will engage and lobby all affected departments, including National Treasury, SARS, Home Affairs, and the BMA, SEPS, to rally behind the Groblers Beach border post to improve the status quo. This is a strategic port of entry, and it is important that we address its challenges and bring about the required efficiencies. As I sit down, as previously mentioned, this port of entry is in the spotlight as a result of the recent increases in traffic volumes, and thus a cause for concern to us given government's priority to ensure that port and freight logistics efficiencies and our overall drive to reduce the cost of doing business. You have mentioned, Undersecretary, the work around, the challenge around the trucks. Our work is fundamentally focused on de-risking and decongesting our roads to heighten our efficiencies insofar as the road to rail agenda is concerned, because the damage of a truck on our roads, we pay it forward when it comes to maintenance and the longevity and sustainability of our infrastructure. And so I'm certain there is room for collaboration on the rail agenda, but of course from a very purely selfish South African perspective, we want to deal with the inefficiencies and challenges at our ports, and a great load of work is being done by Transnet and the Minister so that we can keep the volumes at our ports and stave off the resurgence of Walvis Bay and Mozambique in this regard. And so as you call for collaboration, I equally want to lobby you that if you need a port, we've got them in South Africa. Therefore, colleagues, I really want to implore on all of us that during this period of law and joint enforcement, the Malaysia operations that we held at various border posts such as Bait Bridge and the Libombo border post, and that this one, and that the data collected shows the following. It was clear from the movements of vehicles that most operators are traveling the border without the prescribed C-BRTA permit. It was established that the Malaysians use Groblers Bridge border as the preferred port to avoid the high fees charged at the Bait Bridge border post, and the Malaysians were inspected, and many of them often were found to be non-compliant and were handed over for prosecution. Ladies and gentlemen, it is for this reason that we must intensify our road safety campaigns and law enforcement operations to ensure road safety as well as general compliance with the rules of the road, not only on this corridor but across the country. With this background, this port of entry and the state of port cross-border operations, let's conduct today's Cross Alive road safety campaign to promote road safety and ensure that the cross-border trucks, buses, taxis, as well as general motorists observe the rules of the road. This will ensure that they cross the border alive and reach their various destinations safely. I want to say this is not just today's program. It must be an everyday program. Madam MEC, in the conversations that we have had, you have indicated the shortage of human resource, and I will be engaging the Road Traffic Management Corporation through the deployment of the National Traffic Police that we beef up the support we are giving to Limpopo, given the extent of the traffic volumes which you are currently receiving during this period. we have rather agreed to be agile in our operations. Therefore, we're not going to be stuck to the plan. If we feel that there's a need to shift and move resources, we will definitely do that. And it is quite clear from the preliminary report received this morning that we need to offer you more support, and I commit that we will ensure that from the pass out of the NTP of next week, Wednesday, that we beef up the support that you have. In fact, I arrived here this morning with a team from the National Traffic Police, amongst others, as part of our ongoing oversight and observing the quality nature of our roads and the driving on our roads, and so that they can be able to beef up the interventions that we are doing. On behalf of the department and the ministry, I want to wish you all a blessed Christmas. Be safe, take care, and Godspeed. And what I've learned over the past 12 years is that find time for your families, particularly the political leadership. Maybe let me speak as a child for a moment. The continued absence of parents in the name of national duty is noble, but the challenge that it has on families has got far-reaching consequences. And so in the craziness and busyness of it all, colleagues, in all the work that you are doing, please find time for your families. I say this because this week I have got a permanent guest in all the work that I'm doing. He says, I want to see why you are always away. And so he has ably joined me. So thanks for being here, buddy, and thank you for being so well behaved. Take care and God bless.
Again, a round of applause. Thank you very much. Time now, as you can see, is 12:30. We are 25 minutes behind the parade, which is a scheduled time. And Deputy Minister, thank you so much for your kind words. By the way, I just want to tell you, before I dismiss you, everyone, Deputy Minister, I will not say one day these words. When you turn 60, you say many things that you have never said before. Deputy Minister, when you were chairperson of SCOPA, actually I want to say here that you were my favorite member of parliament, all of them there. You know why he was my favorite member of parliament? The chairperson of SCOPA, reading of documents. Meticulous, questions he was asking. I was CEO myself, but going to SCOPA without prepared, was Deputy Minister, he's gonna grind you, but full of mannerism. But when you go out there, you know that you have been molded. You have been actually, made someone. And thank you so much, Deputy Minister, for everything you have done for South Africa. The last one now is a parade. But I want, Deputy Minister, as we have said, I thank Dr. Advocate Mbana in front of you, and I'm sorry for the timekeeping that has actually happened. I'm a perfectionist. Once you mix a lawyer, ex-politician, and as well as, as someone who's a historian, it's a very bad combination for an MC. And I'm sorry for that. But now what we're going to do, I'm thanking Dr. Mbana, because he's the only one that I thanked every time, Deputy Minister, in the programs that we're doing, because of the time that she took, and that she leaves us at a better time for a leader like her. And those shoes are going to be very difficult to fill in. Again, once more, thank you so much. Now, we are now going to, as usual, protocol, what it says, leaders first, we're going to the parade, and we're going to hand over this parade to none other than Advocate Dr. Commissioner Mbana. I don't know whom we're going to do it next time. Maybe you are ready yourself next to Dr. Mbana. And thanks so much. Dr. Mbana, come here, and then the leadership will actually, you lead them in the best way that you are trained and to do. Can we all rise, ladies and gentlemen?
This guy was told that we no longer.
Done, we will just observe a few vehicles and showcase our road safety tool. Subsequent to that, we will rush straight to the border. Those that can remain behind are urged to remain behind from the South African border, because from the South African border, we will go to the Botswana border. But we have been requested not to bring a lot of people. So after we have viewed the SA side, we request that the other colleagues go back to here so that they can wait for us here. Thank you so much.
Okay, the general has spoken. Can you allow the leadership? Start from the Deputy Minister, MEC.
Ladies and gentlemen, the functionary and his entourage has arrived. Let us all rise. Those who are seated, let us all rise. The functionary and his entourage have arrived. We will request all members on parade to arise as the DM and his entourage have arrived. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are all welcome at this function, the C-BRTA launch of the festive season 2024 under the theme Cross Alive Joint Law Enforcement. Parade Commander. Ladies and gentlemen, the general salute will be played. Only the DM will acknowledge the salute. Parade Commander. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now be calling upon the chaplain, Chaplain Litswalo, to give us the scripture of the day. I will request all members to remain standing, and we will request all members just to keep quiet for a moment as we are about to receive the word of God. Chaplain.
Let me, for a minute, acknowledge the Deputy Minister and his entourage. I'm reading from the book of Psalm 121. It reads, I lift up my eyes to the mountains, from where shall my help come? My help comes from the Lord who made the heavens and the earth. He will not allow your foot to slip, nor will he keep you to slumber. Behold, he who keeps you will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade on your right hand. The sun will not smite you by the day, nor the moon by the night. The Lord will protect you from all evil. He will also keep you and keep your soul. The Lord will guard your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. With those words, as we continue to undertake our duties, it is the promises of God that keeps us going, that He will keep us safe, as we also undertake to make sure that there is safety from all people who are crossing through our borders. But also, more so, we pray for the safety of our members as we undertake our duties. May the Lord be with you. May the Lord guard over you. May the Lord see your coming in. May the Lord also see your going out. Come, let us pray. To you, our Father, we commit this day, not only this day, but the whole of festive season. We want to commit it in your hands because we read in your word that our help comes from the Lord, the maker of the heavens and the earth. So we shall trust you and we will always trust you for the safety of our borders, the safety of our roads, the safety of our members also, and the safety of everyone who will be traveling in and out of our country. All these things we pray in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Lizwalo. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, we will request the functionary and his entourage for the inspection of the parade. Parade Commander. They are all prosecuted from various reasons. They are just mobile coffins, these ones. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now be calling upon Commissioner Mbana to introduce to us the functionary. Commissioner.
Good afternoon, DM. Before us, we've got SAPS, local traffics, BMA, and C-BRTA, as well as SAPS. I am now handing over the parade to the DM.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Madam MEC, the Mayor, all colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and in particular the law enforcement agencies. I will not keep you. I want to start off by thanking all of you for the work that you have been doing to keep all of us safe on our roads and in our homes, and to thank you in advance for all the work that you will be doing during this festive season as we roll out the Cross Alive road safety campaign. And as the chaplain was saying in the reading, I echo the reading myself, that we know the harm and we know the risks and the dangers that come with the work that you do. As you leave your homes and you leave your families, you do not know the enemy you will be confronting on any day. And therefore, may the Lord, as he has said, guide you leaving and coming, and may you be safe on all the roads and in all the work that you do. Thirdly, of course, we do know that as we push for compliance and as we push for the discipline of road users and passengers and all of us, the same must apply to yourselves, and we call for the highest levels of discipline, ethics, and integrity in the exercise of your duties and responsibilities. And therefore, the cool drink phenomenon, amongst others, must be a thing of the past. 2 weeks ago, the minister signed off on a memorandum to the Minister of Public Service and Administration to seek the concurrence for us to be able to exceed the threshold of 30% for overtime, to ensure that what may be the cool drink phenomenon, we rather do it through the legal means, so that the people who do the wrong things can find themselves behind bars and be prosecuted. We are doing all these things in the interest of trying to improve your working conditions, and I'm not saying we are there, but we are committed to getting there, and it is a collaborative effort. At the end of this festive season, we will be seeking feedback and input from yourselves as the people who are on the ground in terms of what we can do better, where are the areas of improvements, and where are the areas of strength, because we are committed to a road safety strategy which is responsive to the daily lived realities of all of us in the ecosystem. Therefore, thank you very much to all of you, and I wish you all of the best in the exercise of your duties and responsibilities during this time. Please, let's not negotiate the law. Let's apply it. If we release one person through negotiation, through a bribe or whatever, we let them drive on the road and they cause an accident, you don't want that sitting on your conscience. Similarly, we as the leadership must do all that we can, that we assist. We must have the necessary resources and infrastructure. And as I've said, the mayor is here, the MEC is here, all as part of an effort of a collaborative approach for all of us to do that which we must in order for us to keep everybody safe on all the roads. And therefore, may the Lord guide you, take care of you in your comings and goings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, our national anthem will be played. We therefore urge all our members in uniform that they must salute. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I will now be handing over to you, Parade Commander, for our march past. And at this point in time, also only the Deputy Minister will be observing, acknowledging our march past. Parade Commander. Ladies and gentlemen, our march past is led by the South African Police Service Band. Deputy Minister, our parade commander is Parade Commander Dibeso from the South African Police Services. The first platoon led by the South African Police Service. The second platoon belongs to the Provincial Traffic Services. The third platoon belongs to the Border Management Agency. The last platoon belongs to the Cross-Border Road Transport Agency, the Road Transport Inspectorate Unit.
You release the TM.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. At this point in time, the Deputy Minister will now depart from the parade. And the Deputy Minister will be fetched by the chairperson of the board from the Cross-Border Road Transport Agency. Chairperson. We will now be dismissing our parade. From this time forward, we will be going for an inspection. The inspection will be led by Deputy Commissioner Ditego. We will now also be led by Deputy Commissioner Mtweni, as we'll be looking at our fatigue tool. Ladies and gentlemen, I am handing over to you, Parade Commander, to dismiss the parade. Parade Commander, over to you. To the inspection, may please make their way to the inspection. Follow the DM and the entourage. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a blessed day going forward.
Roadworthiness, they need, if there is an issue in terms of the roadworthiness, they have to fix. There are vehicles with worn-out tires which needs to be replaced. There are vehicles which are overloaded, which also need to be adjusted. Those loads need to be adjusted, DM. And currently, we are going to continue. This is part of the festive season plan. And what we did, we realized that these vehicles are not driving during the day.
Yes.
They are driving during the night and
Because
in
they
the
know.
early hours of the morning. So we mounted the operation in such a way that we are able to catch all these vehicles. And we managed to catch all these vehicles. And even the trucks, they were weighed. And all of the trucks that are at the weighbridge will go to the weighbridge. That congestion that you see at the weighbridge, it started here. We started weighing them, and from there we took them to those areas.
These are all South African vehicles. Why is it our own people who are doing this?
DM is South African vehicles which are going across. Most of vehicles, the foreign registered vehicles, are not operating cross-border. It's in terms of freight of these vehicles. But in terms of buses, you get more of foreign registered vehicle buses from the N1 that is operating the N1. But on this route, these vehicles, they come mostly from Gauteng and they're using different routes. They have identified the 511, which doesn't have more officials there during the night, and they use those ones through the Lephalale. They come to Groblers Bridge. So we have monitored that one, and we got intelligence in terms of that, and then we deployed our members. We said, let's look at it, and if it works, we'll continue to make sure that we have these people on the road. So in terms of the C-BRTA inspectors, they are operating 24/7. So we make sure that 24/7 will have members on the road.
Thank you very much. I think that is helpful because these are the things that damage the roads.
That's
When
correct.
you overload.
Yes,
And then when they cause an accident, we are unable to understand why, and it's simply because there's this kind of negligence, because it's deliberate. For me, this is organized crime.
That's correct.
Because they know exactly what they are doing. It's not by chance. So thank you very much for the efforts, and I think this is work that must continue, because I think you have also, of course, invited traffic in directly because of the developments in Botswana and Zambia.
That's correct.
And this has got a heightened traffic process here. But I think we'll see more at the border post. But thank you very much.
And the other thing, DM, we have a delegation from Botswana,
Yeah.
whereby we will need to make sure in the operation, if there is documentation that we don't understand from South Africa that comes from Botswana, we share that information. Same applies to South Africa. The purpose of this operation is to share information amongst ourselves and identify issues of common interest so that we can start working on them. Thanks.
Just BMA also checked out these people in their mapepa.
That's correct, CEO. DM, I think what happened, we even get border guards from other port of entries to come and assist us in terms of making sure that all these people who are here, they check them whether they do have papers or not. And some of the vehicles, because the border closes at 10 o'clock, they came after 10 and they queue. But in the morning, we managed to go and fetch them and bring them this side.
Okay. I think from a national security point of view, the challenge here is that we don't know what is happening with all these vehicles. So in the future, we have to think about other mechanisms of technology that we must deploy in these corridors to be able to identify what's inside these vehicles. Because as they move, our profiling guys are on the ground, which is the bit of the intelligence unit that we have. But the challenge is that still we cannot pick up what's inside the vehicles. And unless you rip the vehicle apart and then take off all the goods and services.
We might have to, if you
we might have
what
to.
happened to that bakkie going to Mozambique, which was stashed in a truck and covered in hay.
Yeah.
So
we are considering some
because
tools.
the illicit flow of goods, it's not just financial, but
Yeah.
it's goods. You've got a tobacco challenge in the region, amongst others, with bleeding revenue because of these kinds of things. So if there has to be a manual search in the interim whilst we work towards the issues you've raised around scanners, then let's do that. If it means beefing up capacity, we must. But we're bleeding money because of these things here, because there's no consignment register or roll. What are you carrying?
Absolutely.
From a safety point of view, what if this is an explosive thing and you do not have the necessary safety mechanisms? So we need to apply our minds to all of that.
In some cases, we've found your copper wires, we've found your rail infrastructure in other cases, and even people hidden inside these vehicles. So we really have to find...
strip the vehicles.
Yeah, we really have to find some mechanisms.
Whilst we think about that, let's strip the vehicles.
I'm sorry. DM, actually, this is the driver fatigue kit. Yeah? That would have given the DM so that we would give it to those drivers. But unfortunately, there's no law-abiding ones because we don't want to encourage that. Just give, but this was prepared for the parade. Sorry, for the road users, the cars inspection. So that the deputy minister gives those just to show, the care that you give for the.
Thank you.
It's better.
I'll share it with Lawrence and Lawrence, who've got the enviable task of driving with me.
Hi, Baba. How are you? Good. My name is Lebo.
What's going on here? Why are you being stuck? So you're overweight. Didn't you know you were overweight when you left your destination?
We load, we don't have scales to weigh.
You know what damage you do to our infrastructure? What insurance do you have? The risks of what you are doing are huge all of a sudden. It's bad what you're doing. And you know it. That's the thing, you know it. When you leave your point of departure, you know exactly that what you have done is wrong. But do you take a moment to consider what your wrongness means for all of us on the roads.
The main thing why all this is happening is just because, job opportunities there are very few, and the cost on the way is too expensive. So that's why we're trying, maybe if we do not something that becomes more, we get something.
I agree with you. With the challenge of jobs is an international problem. I agree. But your job seeking opportunities must not be to the detriment of and to the risk of life. No, it's fine. Thank you very much. It must not be to the detriment of life and infrastructure. Because you are also at risk yourselves as the users of these things, because there's no safety checks here that in the event of an accident you are safe. So I think let's not cut our noses to spite our faces. And now look what has happened. You are here, your goods are not delivered. You're pleading money, you're pleading resources, you're pleading time. If I had it my way, I would have asked the law enforcement agencies to arrest all of you here. Nobody's saying don't trade. Trade within the parameters of the law and do what is right. And from point of origin, you know that what you have done is wrong. I say this so that there's no ambiguity about how seriously we view it, so that you're not saying you are held up here unfairly. Wrongness must be punished. It's a risk to all of us on the roads. We are losing 12,000 people on South African roads every year. And amongst others, it's these things that are causing accidents. If I ask a question, now what happens in an accident? We need to take you to a clinic or hospital. You're putting strain on the trauma units in the hospitals and clinics. We're cancelling scheduled operations of people who have been waiting. When an accident has happened, we need to repair the infrastructure. You pay none of that. Then you go and claim to the road accident fund. The consequences of it ultimately are just a cost which you do not pay. So I don't know why, in fact, there are no arrests. But please, speak to your colleagues. Don't do this thing. Trade, but trade legally. Trade legally. That's all we ask. We're not in the way of your work, but when it's done wrongly, rest assured we will heighten the pressure. That's all. So please comply with whatever directives you've been given so you can be well on your way. Because if I was to ask what is here, do we have certificates and permits for what is here? We've got a problem of copper wire thefts. What if we find it here? Infrastructure damage, railway. So when you don't do it right, you invite suspicion. This is it. We have to ask what's in here.
What's this groceries?
It's
Groceries.
What's that?
Groceries.
Oh, groceries.
Yes.
You do know that South Africa is dealing with the problem of contaminated foods in the spaza shops. Are we to trust that this food here is safe when there's no paperwork for it? So at every answer, you invite a problem.
And the thing is, I can't say it's safe or it's not safe because we also buy it from the shops.
The onus is on you as the transporter. The rest with you. You must know. If it's a hazardous thing, you must know. You cannot escape liability and accountability. It's on you. You are carrying it. Thank you.
We'll just do that for you.
Afternoon, Papa. How are you?
Good. My name is the Home Safety Officer. Can I please have your cross-border permit, the consignment note, and your license?
So this tool, it's actually we
got a protective screen so I can't see.
yeah.
Got the
So
blind
she
spot.
will be doing there. So I will just explain what the tool does. So this is the tool that we developed.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you well? How are you? We apologize for this constructive inconvenience, but it's for everyone's good. Thank you.
So the tool DM, we developed it together with a Road Accident Fund. The reason for developing the tool is to collect data in terms of road safety. So we have been gathering data. What we do, the data that we collect from truck drivers, long distance truck drivers, is to check the issues of road safety, whether they wear seat belt. We interview the drivers to check if they rest, how many times do they rest? If a truck is driving long distance, let's say from DRC to Cape Town, how many drivers are in the vehicle together with the buses? How many drivers are driving? How well do they rest? And the reason of doing this, when we collect this data, we check the roadworthiness of the vehicle, whether they are compliant in terms of cross-border permit, and we take this data. When we analyze this data, we check in terms of compliance. And as road safety, we then educate, do programs where we educate these drivers, road safety campaigns, where we tell them about the importance of resting, together with, in partnership with other health departments, what we do, because the most finding of this tool is that fatigue is the most problem. And now we organize wellness programs where we test these drivers, we assist them, we do education of them, exercising and the importance and testing of all the things, and educate them on the importance of how well they should rest and their lifestyles. So the important thing, DM, for this, why we want this tool to, we're presenting this tool, we want to influence police. We have realized that there is no, it can't be enforced, and that is where we've got lots of accidents, because drivers don't rest, and most of the truckers that are driving long distance, it's one driver, and they want to drive all along to the destination without resting.
Where
and
are you
which
going,
is
sir?
problem.
Congo.
Congo, where are you from now?
Durban.
From Durban. Who's driving with you?
No, I'm alone.
You're driving alone. When did you leave Durban?
On today's
Saturday.
Durban Thursday, because we have a ride in Joburg. So I was in Joburg for 2 days. So I started early in the morning.
You left Durban on Thursday?
Joburg. Yeah.
No, when did you leave Durban?
Thursday.
You left Durban on Thursday. You know I'm from Durban. So I know that road very well. So use your calculations very carefully.
No, we have a yard in Joburg.
Right.
So I passed in our workshop.
When did you pass the yard?
I reached there Thursday evening. So I was there about yesterday.
And you're driving alone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's the most problematic. So hence we're saying at the end the intention is to influence policy and ensure that we've got this fatigue as an enforcement, one of the enforcement in our enforcement area to deal with this
Permit,
problem.
how long is it supposed to be valid?
This is a 5-year permit, but annually they must apply for a compliance certificate to ensure that the vehicle is still roadworthy.
Where in the Congo are you going to?
Sorry?
Where in the Congo are you going?
Kolwezi.
Kolwezi. That's about 4,000 kilometers from Durban.
Almost there.
Yeah. You're driving that alone?
Yeah, because of days in borders is where we rested most of the time. 2 days, the other day proceed. It was one I was spent only one night, then we reached.
What are you transporting there?
Magnesium.
Is this the fine?
Right. Safe travels.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Brenda,
Can you then do a vehicle inspection?
Yes, they are.
So here DM is where we do have what you call
Even handbag will do. By its physical thing, so the pictures, that's how we can scan it. Then most of the successes that we get from this package scan, we find agricultural products, people carry their receipts, some will be carrying medicines, African ones, roots. So when we find this kind of stuff, we send them to some of it's also medicaments. We refer them to agriculture.
The permits, we check them on the road.
Okay, DM.
that's the inspection area where we're deploying all officials here, SAPS, BMA, all of us are operating here. And then if we're searching cargo, travelers, all of them. Because from our side, DM, we don't have the scanner like Bedbridge for the cargo. So, meaning that we're searching physically so, but we're getting a lot of successes by searching physically so. So we're pushing to say, okay, maybe our government, maybe they'll be able to assist with the scanner, to deploy a mobile scanner, by the way. Because remember, we cannot deploy a permanent scanner at this port, because this port is operating in a flooding zone. If it can rain DM for 3 days or 5 days non-stop, we're closing this port. We have closed this port, I think, during 2002 and 2022, somewhere there before COVID. Yeah? We've closed this port for a period of 3 months, DM. Just imagine what is going to happen with the cargo, because currently we're experiencing cargo from Bedbridge to use this port, because they're running away from higher tariffs from Zim side. So all people now, they're running to our side, to Groblers Bridge. Okay, place where we can put the scanner here. I'm talking about the permanent scanner, like Bedbridge, what is happening at Bedbridge. We can see the infrastructure really is not talking to what is happening now at this port of entry. The contributing factor is the Kazangula Bridge. It's fully operational. Now all transporters now, they're moving to our side. You know, because
I get that problem.
Yes.
I'm trying to get to the next part. What's your issue? I get you've got an increase in traffic. It's not going to stop. That part I'm very clear about. I'm asking you, why don't you have a scan?
Because of the infrastructure.
Have you submitted an infrastructure plan?
We did to DPW. They did came.
Where to start?
No, now what we're doing now, we want to check on top of the bridge, and then we're walking to Botswana side.
Just sample about 2 or 3 cars, because we can't do all of them.
Let's just go all the way to the bridge. And we can have a discussion coming.
Not far. Trucks. The challenge is the infrastructure in terms of the parking. So we can push many trucks as we want. But we found that when they arrive this side, there's no parking as well. Even in Botswana, same applies from Botswana side. They can push many trucks as they want.
If it rains, there is serious problems here. There is one lane. Those scanners, they don't have a place to stay like you've asked. If he knows that he procured the scanners, they don't know. They are here. You are from Pretoria. These ones are here.
There's a problem, Executive Mayor. There is a problem. It's an infrastructure problem of crossing here. What I was trying to say to the DM is that
BMA said, so the issues around DPWR you should have resolved then, to say what's your interface with DPW. It can't be an issue now, because those are all matters that were raised in both the NA and the NCOP.
I agree, DM. I think this is at a very high level, because all the functions that we took, the proviso was the functions come with the budget. None of the 5 functions that we took came in the environmental affairs. It only came with
becomes are you viable as an entity?
No, we are not.
Yes, that's what my
That's their charge. It's not a personal thing. It tells us what.
Yeah, but we submitted the business case.
Okay, let's proceed and complete.
Our relationship with South Africa and our daily challenges we are going to share here. I think we are going to come up with a different. I believe we are going to come up with solutions to our daily challenges, which we are experiencing with our colleagues from South Africa. So right now we'll be going through. The first challenge is our one-way bridge here, which sometimes we get blockage here because of congestion. Sometimes we have some breakdowns of trucks on top of the bridge, which end up delaying our progress at our border post and causing delays in our traffic flow. We are going to go through there. I'm going to show you our passenger terminal, arrival terminal and departure terminal, and how our trucks are packing on daily basis. And share all the challenges we are experiencing. Thank you for that.
I think your briefing ends here. There's now a list of requirements. I am not crossing over without my protectors. So you
Okay.
start here and you end here. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You are welcome to our border. Now I can open the discussion for any questions that may come or that may arise.
What goes on? What are your challenges?
What he's saying is that the deputy minister cannot cross the border
Yes.
without his protectors. So how are you dealing with the issue?
Okay.
No, it's fine. I'm not having. Let's have the briefing. What you wanted to tell us there, you can tell us here.
Okay. Yes. In addition to our one-way bridge there, we have a traffic congestion this side, which is caused by our customers who are not compliant at times, and they will be packed there for a long period waiting for compliance.
Complaints from which side?
From both sides. Either they have a letter for the warehouse on the South African side or a permit requirement on our side. Yes.
So you don't have a waiting area?
We don't have a waiting area. We have a limited parking space. And as they are waiting there, we take time to bring other traffic inside.
What I'm about to say now, don't take it personally. Why are you running an ad hoc operation? It's as if you just found yourselves here and you are making things work as you go. Where's the broader plan? I don't get a sense of... I mean, what you're raising now should not really be an issue to be raised unless you are saying the plans you've put forward have not received attention.
We have plans here of controlling the traffic. We communicate with our counterparts this side. We have 2 walkie-talkies. The other one stands on the bridge and the other one that side. We do communication when the traffic comes.
I get that. But the mitigation plan for the traffic congestion, for the non-compliance of people who have to wait. Ordinarily, I would imagine you must have a place where you are saying, this place must be where a construction say, here we want to build a parking lot, what. I'm trying to understand that. I mean, there's what they call Lindela there in South Africa for people whom have been found to have been in the country without legal documentation. Then they are sent to Lindela. So it's a designated space. Now I'm saying, where's the designated space? In its absence, what's the plan for a designated space? You see, I'm trying to be practical. If I arrive there and I'm not compliant, and you say I'm not compliant, where do you place me? And then the mayor arrives and the speaker arrives and we all arrive there. We've got 40 of us who are not compliant. Where do you dock us?
Yes, we
because
have...
that's causing the congestion, right? You've got 40 non-compliers.
Yes. We have agreed with our South African colleagues that those who haven't completed the process, they can't come through. Only those who have completed the process on the South African side and Botswana side are allowed to go through the bridge.
Where do you place the ones that have not completed?
They just queue outside there.
That's what I'm asking. Does that not cause a congestion?
It
I'm
does.
asking the decongestion plan. If it's not there, say so. Then we can go back and say, okay, decongestion is an issue.
I mean, truck parks.
Yes.
We don't have
They
truck parks
said
along the-
development coming in. We have a plan for this.
What the DME said, you are having 40 of us who
Yes.
are not compliant.
Non-compliance.
Where are you taking us so that you allow those that are compliant to go to deal with the congestion?
Okay.
So what is saying in the Mkhuleko, tshwantse re nne re kore le kore ba beya re no le na le comply le nna fa le thoko to le tisetsa dilo tsa lena re le lokisetsa mara the DM and the speaker they are complying, therefore they must be able to go. Then by look of things and from where I understand, we don't have that. Just say we don't have that. For planning purposes, we must have that. So that we can say we don't have that.
What are we doing with the tracks? All right.
Development plan.
So you know what we need to in the main, what we were supposed to give DM is the developmental plan. Or
the upgrade plan,
whatever. That is basically what we're supposed to give him. To say, Deputy Minister, we are going to upgrade the bridge. We are going to do this and that.
Is he from head office PM?
Yes, head office.
No, colleagues, I've heard you. Thank you for your time. Clearly here there's problems, and I'll engage Home Affairs, who's responsible for BMA, and they can bring the multidisciplinary departmental teams to have a holistic look about what works and what doesn't work. We'll take it from that. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Sure. Yeah, it's 30. No.